Okay, this one is wild. Hey, it's Christine Grace. Welcome back to my channel. Today is another reaction video. Like the video on your way in. Let's get straight into it. So this one was a story highlighted to me from my WhatsApp community. Thank you, ChickaRock1, for bringing this story to my attention. If you don't know, we love the Wilson family over here on this channel. Andrew Wilson and his wife, Rachel Wilson. We are big fans. If you don't know who they are, essentially Andrew runs a podcast called The Crucible, and Rachel is a author of a book called Occult Feminism, which will just blow your mind, or it might not, because the information is becoming more popular now, but she was one of the first people to really call out feminism. So they're a super based couple, and I just love them. Anyway, Andrew is probably most well known for appearing on things like the Whatever podcast and debating people, and one of the people he debated is actually from England, much like myself. Complete raging feminist liberal, doesn't really seem to have many brain cells about her, and they seem to have found themselves in a bit of a pickle. So let's check it out.
So I was watching YouTube the other day.
I saw you did you do sit with Andrew Wilson? That's one thing I would disagree with you doing, which is interesting. Like maybe that's the
like
where the debate
to Andrew Wilson
happen.
What did I do now?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I just worry immediately for your safety in that moment.
Why?
Because of the fact that he's a racist. Andrew Wilson.
Yeah, you heard that correctly. Yeah.
Wilson's a racist.
Andrew Wilson's a...
The fact that women feel that they are in a position where they can just make claims like that so publicly and not face any consequences should say a lot about the kind of society that we've created.
What?
I mean, he's admitted on live streams before on his podcast that he doesn't really believe in what he understands the modern version of consent to look like. And
yeah, because it makes no sense and is really fucking stupid. Can we get to the part where I'm actually this thing you just called me, though?
His entire career is built upon a foundational premise that you get clicks by bullying underage girls or...
What? What underage girls? What the f*** are you talking about?
Who are underqualified to speak about political problems. And I'm not saying that that's you.
Underqualified to speak about political problems. I have a almost 10th grade education. Almost. Let's see how that stacks up against these who are underqualified to speak about these problems.
Not so erudite. She has an undergraduate in psychology and a graduate diploma in psychometrics. Is Naima. She's a senior at USC. Pearly. She received a master's degree in fantasy literature from the University of Glasgow and a BA.
The fact that you can get a master's in fantasy literature, we're cooked.
In English from California State University, Sacramento. She received bachelor degrees in psychology and creative writing from Ivy League school, Brown University. She plans to pursue a graduate degree in public policy. She graduated from University of Florida with a triple major, getting her BS in psychology and BA in philosophy and economics.
It almost seems like we're past the point of redemption. Like, I don't really feel like any of us have much control anymore over anything that's happening. I think it's all just kind of falling into oblivion. But one thing you can control is that stinky, stinky breath. So let's take a moment for today's sponsor. You know what kills a moment faster than a bad joke? Bad breath. It doesn't care what you just ate. Doesn't care who you're talking to. It shows up uninvited, wrecks the vibe. That's why I'm excited to tell you about today's sponsor, Breath Death, the brand behind Crystal Breath. Exploding mint crystals that kill bad breath on impact and take your confidence to the next level. These aren't just your average mints or gum. There's no fake ingredients, there's no perfume masking, no endless chewing. Crystal breath dissolves in seconds, and it actually destroys bad breath at the source. Powered by zinc, these mints attack sulfur compounds in your mouth that cause the stink. You're not covering it up, you're actually killing it. It keeps you clinically fresh for up to 4 hours, so you're not constantly worried about missing your next moment to shine. It's the perfect addition to your breath routine for when you're walking out the door and need a backup that hits hard and fast. They're all natural, 0 calories, fast acting, dentist approved, and pack a delicious peppermint punch that you just can't get enough of. Honestly, I'm addicted to the sound it makes in my mouth. Make it fun to use. It's a party trick that you can share with your friends who desperately need your help. And because it comes in resealable tubes, you can keep one on you absolutely everywhere and always be ready for whatever moment comes next. And because Breath Death is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal. When you click the link in the description or scan this QR code to subscribe to the 8-tube pack, you'll get their regular 15% off plus free shipping, plus an additional 10% just for watching this video. It's an exclusive deal. You won't get it anywhere else, so click the link in the description to get your mission started to kill bad breath.
She will be receiving her bachelor's in psychology.
May.
Which university, or if you don't want to? No worries. She will be receiving her bachelor's in psychology in May.
I'm a political science major.
I graduated with a psychology major recently.
Yeah, really underqualified and underage.
I graduated from FIU, Florida International University, with a double bachelor's in international relations and political science.
I'm Deborah Leah. I'm from New York City. I'm 24 years old, and I have a bachelor's degree in government and politics.
Any education?
Yes, I am college educated. I have my bachelor's.
Hi, I'm Millie Weaver. I'm a conservative journalist, big on YouTube, Millennial Millie on YouTube, and I'm also a co-founder of a tech company called QUX.
My IQ technically is at 140, so is it higher? 143?
By the way, the song only lasted so long. The list is quite exhaustive of women who are far more educated than me, who I debate, and men. So what the f*** are you talking about, moron?
I actually don't think that is you at all. And I think that he went out on a limb when he debated you because
The manipulation of the modern woman. I don't think that's you. I don't think that's you. Have you ever actually, do you know this girl? Like, the insinuation that you know this woman better than she knows herself is just crazy and shows the level of delusion and entitlement that this girl has.
that's not usually the type of person that he would engage with.
Tilly lying again. No, Tilly, sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but it's actually the opposite. Many shows have reached out to Kyla to do debates with me in the past, and she has turned them down over and over again, a thing which she will not even deny, because I have all of the proof. You're wrong. You're wrong.
It is crazy. It is crazy that she's able to say stuff like this.
And you're dumb.
But like, I think that's for the men. I think Andrew Wilson is for the men.
No, I mean,
I thought we didn't believe in discrimination. I thought you were a feminist. I thought it was all about equality, in which case there shouldn't be a division between the sexes. Are you advocating for segregation of media content? You're advocating for segregation? Is that you?
I'd be the smartest man in the room. But I'm pretty confident that she just got done saying that you're dumb. I think that that's her actual position here.
To tackle, because his audience are so, I mean, I've probably watched 20 hours or more.
I think the chick with the black hair knows that she's kind of calling her dumb, and that's why she's just letting her talk.
No, you haven't, you lying sack of dog. Don't Lie. I know you're about to lie. You always do. People always do that. You're about to tell a big fib.
Of his,
I did not know Americans use the word fib.
of his podcast, and I've been approached before to come on whatever, and I just said no because.
And this is how you know Tilly is telling a Tilly lie. How could you watch 20 hours of the podcast and still declare that it's my podcast? It belongs to Brian Atlas, and I guest on it sometimes and do debates on it sometimes. Gutless, lying, filthy, degenerate, aggressive scumbags.
I don't think there's any winning, and that's So I would want you to speak to your experience.
I don't think there's any winning. Could that suggest that maybe he has a point? If you can't win a debate, shouldn't you accept defeat and maybe open your mind up to the possibility that someone else might have something of value to say? No? Okay.
Experience of that, because I was frankly not going to go and sit in a room with a bunch of men who don't believe in consent.
I'm better than you.
What do you think is going to happen? First of all, when you say modern consent, we're talking about how progressives view consent, and they're lunatics. Literally like you. They're lunatics like you are. But secondly, what do you think's going to happen? Do you think they're going to like throw you up on the table and have their way with you in the middle of Santa Barbara, California, while the cameras are rolling live? Is that what you think, Tilly?
Spooked.
Yeah. It feels, correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like a commentary on platforming in general. And I have very mixed thoughts about platforming, and maybe you disagree. Maybe it is not a platforming. And so correct me. Am I misunderstanding you and saying it somewhat feels
maybe a little?
No, Kyla, you adult. She's not talking about platforming. She's literally saying that she's afraid that she's going to go down to Santa Barbara, California to do a debate and is going to be ravaged by the hordes of men who can't control themselves because they don't believe in modern forms of consent.
Okay.
Maybe a little, because I'm not big on the argument of you platforming, you're legitimizing these ideas. I think that's actually a really complex and nuanced topic that people slap a big thought-terminating cliche on. You're legitimizing, you're doing this. I was genuinely just worried that a was engaging in the debate. I think that in this instance, when it comes to men like this, it should be a man who engages in that particular debate. And also, I was literally worried for your physical safety. I'm worried for the physical safety of the women who go in person to these podcast environments. I've heard.
Well, Tilly, I wouldn't worry about it. Kyla was so unconcerned about her safety that she brought a case of beer for me into the studio before the debate started and said, I brought this for you because I heard you really like beer, which is true. A very thoughtful gift of Kyla, in fact. Anyway.
I actually do respect that. Like, you know, you're going to meet someone who you're probably going to disagree with. And it's just obviously, I don't drink alcohol, probably wouldn't buy someone else alcohol, but like, you know, I get the sentiment. Like, it's just a nice way of being like, hey, no hard feelings. Like, we're debating ideas. Doesn't mean I think you're an awful person. Like, I don't know you enough to hate you kind of thing. Like, I respect that.
I assume that she didn't think that, you know, the person you're calling the R word here. Would you bring a person you thought was the R word a case of beer? I mean, drunk and the R word together? How could I ever possibly control myself, Tilly?
She's an absolute idiot.
Of course, the entire premise is built on the fact that I think if my wife wakes me up with a... That's not SA. That's not the R word.
With what?
I know. I know. I get it. I understand. Something's wrong in my head. I honestly don't believe that when my wife wakes me up, I'm dead asleep. I'm completely unconscious to the world. If she wakes me up with a... I don't think it's the R. I'm sorry, I don't.
So he's saying that if he's fast asleep and his wife wakes him up with sex, he doesn't believe that that's grape. Obviously. I really want to say something. but I don't know how much trouble it's going to get me in. So maybe I'll say it to you guys in my WhatsApp community and I won't say it on here because, yeah. I'll say this. It's not great. It's not. And you're in a loving relationship, hopefully. I won't say anymore. It's ludicrous that a person would think this is bad.
I know. I'm my ideas are f***ing out there, man.
Heard horror stories of them forcing you to film for 8-9 hours and then promising you reimbursement, but then they're dragging out the debate until they get until they're satisfied, and only then will they reimburse you. And people
Who is they? I don't negotiate any of these things because it's not my show, and I don't give a f*** what the get paid or don't get paid there. It's none of my business. What the f*** are you talking about, Tilly? What does this have to do with me? And what does it have to do with the horrific R word? What? Nothing.
been stranded out in the desert trying to get back home because of like I've heard horror stories from so many. Obviously, I'm not going to put them on blast here, but
yeah, I mean, why do that when then the people could see that there may be another side to whatever those stories are, and perhaps those who are done so dirty may not be being particularly honest about the circumstances in which they found themselves in. Maybe that's the case. But I mean, why tell anybody that? Why actually allow a person to defend themselves from allegations when you can just be sneaky and go behind everybody's back and pretend it's true, even though you present no evidence that it is at all?
Who've spoken to me personally about their experiences, and none of them have been good. So that was, I disagreed with you going because I was just thinking, oh, what is she doing? Nothing to do with platforming, you know?
Yeah.
So, okay, I've had some bad experiences on whatever, according to Tilly. Let's just grant that it's true. What the f does that have to do with the R word? What? What does that have to do with anything?
If this doesn't show you just how badly we need reformation with the laws surrounding false allegations of grape and SA, I don't know what will. Because this is next level crazy.
Nothing. Has nothing to do with anything. It's just well poisoning. Very typical female behavior, by the way.
Yeah. So I suppose in my experience, I have a pretty decent working relationship with Brian Atlas, the host. He repaid me.
I think this girl is kind of smart. I haven't seen her in a debate, but in this particular debate, the girl with the dark hair, she seems kind of smart. She really let Tilly like expose herself and get it all out to then take her position.
So we negotiated ahead of time that he was going to.
You can see Tilly's like, oh shit. Look.
With Brian Atlas, the host. He repaid me. So we negotiated.
You see that? You see it. Slow it down. We're going to do it again.
Working relationship with Brian Atlas, the host. He repaid me. So we negotiated ahead of time that he was going to.
She's like, oh, and she goes like red. She gets flushed. It was at that moment she knew. She fucked up.
Pay for travel and stay, and he reimbursed me within 24 hours. So I had no reimbursement issues.
She really thought she was going to get on this stream or whatever and just put Brian and Andrew Wilson on blast and be able to get away with it because all the girlhood, like, we're friends. You can see the tactic from the get-go. I was concerned for your, health, because we're both girls and like we got to stick together, and that's what she was doing. And the reason I say that I think the girl with the dark hair is probably quite smart, or at least smarter than the other one, is because she kind of just let her show herself for who she is. It's true what these people say, like, you let a woman talk enough, she will reveal herself, especially to other women, because there's no element of shame there, because they just presume that like, oh, like we're all the same, like, we're all pieces of shit.
Afterwards, he offered to take me out for food. He got food on set, but I've definitely never felt
she really didn't like that
for even a second physically under threat from.
Good for you. Good for you. Do you know what this is? Actually, another layer to this, I think, is a cultural difference. In the UK, you can't just sue people. Like, you can say you can, But no one has the money to do that. Like, the concept of suing someone, even taking someone to court in the UK is just like, you know, that's like what the guys who are like hedge fund owners do. Like, that is not what the average people do. Whereas in America, like, I learned about this, you know, from being around Americans doing this whole YouTube thing. Like, you guys, like, it's actually a thing. Like, you guys will actually just sue each other. And it's just crazy to us. So, yeah, Tilly thinks she can get away with that. And I'm so happy that she's dealing with Americans because, yeah, they'll find a way. They really will. And I think girl with the dark hair, I keep forgetting her name. I'm so sorry. I think she's very aware of that. 'Cause straight away, she's like, oh, this is a case right here. Like, this is libel. This is defamation. I'm not joining in on that.
To individuals, like in no way, shape, or form. In fact,
For those of you who are expecting a lot more pushback from Kyla, don't be silly. So,
oh, well, maybe she's not that smart. Oh gosh, Kyla, that's her name.
almost any time Kyla is met with a moral decision and there's something material to be gained, she almost always will universally make the wrong decision. This is why many people on Twitch used to point at her and call her, and still do, they call her Kyla Maxwell because of her relationship with Destiny and trying to, at least the allegation is, hush up Pixie in the background as she was making the various accusations that Destiny was, without consent, sharing her videos, her sex videos with Destiny. So this is all.
What? Oh, wow, I was so wrong. Just goes to show you, don't judge a book by its cover, because this little small clip is the only thing I've seen of this Kyla girl. I've seen Tilly before, but yeah, the other girl, yeah. Wow.
I'm not saying that this is true. I'm just pointing out that this allegation is there, and it seems to have at least some evidence which backs it up. So, never seen Kyla make a good moral decision, not even one time. Never seen it. Whenever she has the opportunity to do the right thing.
I've met Pixie, actually, so I know who he's talking about. I don't know why, like, she would need to hush her up. I guess I just don't know the details. I don't really get involved in this kind of drama. Like, it's always just Americans, usually. I don't know how Tilly's found herself in all of this. She got too loud. But, yeah, I don't really get involved in the drama. Just gladly. But it's entertaining to watch it unfold.
Thing, she almost always universally does exactly the opposite of what the right thing is. So you should not have high expectations for Kyla. I don't. Now,
thank you. Noted.
Let's check in on what some other creators are saying about this situation on the old
I did hear about this on Twitter as well.
YouTube.
Now again, I'm not even an Andrew Wilson fan.
That's a good thing. I've been trying to get rid of my female fan base for years. No matter how much I try, I can't seem to do it. It's because of the voice. Sexiest voice on TikTok, baby.
I've been very critical of Andrew Wilson in the past.
Mean.
But one thing that I'm not about to criticize Andrew Wilson for is for being something that he's not.
Careful, that's precariously close to a logical reason to position.
Andrew Wilson is a lot of things. He's an asshole.
Hey.
He's inflammatory. He's provocative.
I mean, yeah, but he's also like freaking hilarious.
Really not any of those things. I just,
No, Andrew, like you do come off as inflammatory and provocative. But that's funny. That's funny. For people who find that entertaining, such as myself, people with a darker sense of humor, like, everything he's saying, you can see it's like frustration and just like facts. But that's like why it's funny, because it's like, well, it's true. You just say the stuff that not all of us would probably say. So, frankly,
say what's obvious and factual. And feminists and crazy all over the internet lose their minds. That's what's actually true. So, what's the resolution here?
Sue her!
Ultimately. Well, here's the resolution. I'm a reasonable man. What Tilly said here was unconscionable and it was horrendous. What I would like for Tilly to do is just make a public video apologizing. It doesn't have to be something in-depth, anything like that. Just retract the allegation, then apologize and let people know you got the facts wrong. That's all I'm asking for. Nothing major. Now, I'm doing this in the spirit of charitability. I want to be as charitable as I possibly can. Perhaps she got many of her facts wrong due to the fact that she's just a moron. This does happen, and I'm willing to see past it. However, this is very slanderous and a horrible thing to say about a person.
Absolutely. If that snowballs and gets out of control, absolutely, that is awful. I mean, it's awful in itself, but what I'm saying is that you can imagine the effect it could have. Like, they might, if it snowballed, it became sort of mainstream news or something, and then, you know, it led to a criminal investigation or something like that. Like, these are serious allegations to make that can seriously destroy someone's life and reputation. I mean, what, YouTube might demonetize him if it snowballed. They'd be like, oh, he's a rapist, so we're going to stop his income. You know, this isn't just like, oh, Andrew's an asshole. These aren't just things that you can just throw around. Like, you think someone's an asshole, fine. Like, not a crime. This is not just a crime, but a serious crime. And a crime that, you know, when it happens, deserves the right justice. But when it does happen, because so many morons, like he said, like Tilly, are throwing that word around, the real victims of that crime are not getting the right justice. Why? Because police time is wasted on all of this BS. And, you know, the boy who cried wolf. How inclined is a police officer going to be to believe an actual victim when disgusting people like Tilly throw that word around like it's nothing? They qualify anything as that serious crime. Now, that's not a systematic issue on the police for not being understanding. No, that's just basic human behavior. If you come to me all the time and tell me, I don't know, I'm bleeding, I need a band-aid, I need a plaster, right? And you do that 6 or 7 times. And each time I'm giving you my band-aids and my plasters that I also need for when I get a cut or a graze or if I'm bleeding, you know? And then by the 6th or 7th time, I've realized you don't actually need the band-aid or the plaster. You just want to stick it on somewhere that isn't bleeding for the attention of it. To say, oh, look at me, I'm hurt. The 7th or 8th time that you asked me for that plaster, would it be wise for me to give it to you? No, it wouldn't. So I hope my metaphor illustrates my point. The severity of what Tilly is doing just reflects what's going on, you know, at the macro and micro levels of society. Things like the Me Too movement, the things like, you know, the false allegations after breakups, false allegations in general. Like, this is a serious problem. And the modern woman will constantly try and manipulate it into being like, you have to believe all women, and if people don't, it's their problem. It's a fundamental manipulation of how reality works. And yeah, I really want to put that out there because it's the severity of it is so much more than just this story with Andrew Wilson.
And I am actually willing. I've never one time engaged in lawfare. I have been sued, frivolous lawsuits, because people think that I'm loaded or something, but I have never sued anybody. And I wanted to go my whole life without doing it. But in this case, I will follow action with lawsuit. I did speak to an attorney. They think I have a pretty good case. But I'm going to be completely honest with everybody. If it is the case that I raise money for this lawsuit, do not get your hopes up. Defamation is notoriously difficult to prove, and so is slander. UK standards are a bit better, but it's difficult to do, so don't get your hopes up. I'm just going to be totally upfront and honest with you. If I pursue a lawsuit, the reason I'm doing it is due to the principle of the thing. In this case, I fully believe 100% that a woman who will say these things on a random podcast is about an individual who they've never met, they don't know anything about, will pursue that, and there's a higher than null likelihood that they will paint other men
absolutely
as being this thing who cannot defend themselves. They don't have the same platform that I do. And so I consider this to be a moral obligation. So I'm going to give her a week. It's the 15th today. I'm going to give her a week. That's 7 days to issue the apology, and then I'll move on, and nobody will ever have to talk about it again, right? I'm a very charitable person, very forgiving person. But if that's not the case, and she refuses to correct the record, she's doubling down, then yeah, I think it's perfectly appropriate to pursue legal action. And
absolutely. And because of what he said, because, you know, there's so much more to it. It's not just about him. You know, if she's able to get away with this and, you know, not retract it, who's to say she's not going to do it to someone else and really, really ruin someone's life? Okay, so I haven't been able to find much information on what's happened since Andrew has announced that he's going to, you know, take action. But the internet seems to give a pretty good breakdown. So legal action and support. Andrew Wilson has formally threatened to pursue a lawsuit against Middlehurst for these claims. In response, Destiny publicly pledged to support Middlehurst by funding her legal defense, committing at least $100K through personal contributions and community crowdfunding if she is sued. Why? She made a false allegation of rape. This support highlights the high-profile nature of the dispute and the public attention it has garnered. Okay, allegations and public response. Middlehurst's accusations have been described as false and fabricated, with Wilson and his supporters emphasizing the severity of making unverified claims of SA. The situation has sparked widespread discussion online, with safety concerns and reputational implications for both parties. Media coverage and social commentary have focused on the legal, ethical, and social ramifications of such public allegations. Absolutely. The latest reports show that legal action is pending. The case has not yet reached a court resolution. Both parties are preparing for potential litigation, and public attention continues to grow due to the involvement of high-profile figures and online communities. Oh my gosh, she made a response.
Yeah, I had some attitude issues, but
implied consent when you get married. It's implied that you're consenting to sex.
Yeah, literally. I mean, if any of these people are Christian, like, it literally states it in the Bible that the wife's body becomes the husband's and the husband's body becomes the wife's.
Feels like we're on the same level.
She does sometimes. She's like,
I don't.
She's like, and I'm like, yeah, that's right. And she's like, okay. And
oh man, I hate the modern world. It's like, how...
oh, yeah. She's like...
He's saying this to really wind her up.
Like, she can't believe this is happening.
Honestly. It's like, these people expect to be married to people that they don't want to sleep with. If someone you've married, right? Look, I'm getting leery about this. I'm like, let me punch up the mic. If someone you've married, right, is not the person who, like... You know, I know, like, things fade over time, but if you're in a healthy relationship, like, these guys are only 40. Andrew and Rachel Wilson, I think, are in their late 30s, early 40s. Like, things are still going at that point. Do you know what I mean? It's like, these liberals and stuff, they're just imagining, probably because they're attracted to, like, soy boys and stuff, and, like, who wants to do that? But why would you be married to someone that you're not wanting, let alone wanting to have sex with? What are you doing? Like, it's like they just think, like, you know, you're always going to hate each other. They think, like, oh, you've both had an argument, you're both peed off at each other, and it's the woman who's like, I don't want to because I'm now in a bad mood, and the man is like, no, you have to give it to me now. Like, come on, we're all adults here. Like, the both of you have had an argument. Either, you know, you get it on because both of you are like, this is going to solve our problems, or you're both in a bad mood, so you're probably not up for it. Like this whole concept of, oh, I'm tired, I have a headache. It's like you've lost attraction, maybe because you're unhappy in the relationship, which it seems all liberal women get to that point, or you've not been taking care of yourself. You've not been getting enough sleep to feel attractive in yourself to want to go into it. I keep talking about this book, but Alison Armstrong's book, The Queen's Code, has a whole chapter where it goes like into sex and stuff and marital sex. And it's really, really helpful in my opinion. But you know, these liberal women would probably say it's advocating for rape, but whatever.
Really shocked her.
I'm really respectful. I'm very submissive.
Respect and submission is different than obey.
What do you mean by it?
Well, obedience is I do it when I say to do something, you do it. And if I make a decision that you disagree with, ultimately I have the final say, and you don't have one.
Well, your wife has to abide by that?
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like I'm punching above my weight a little bit being married to this guy, but...
What is the purpose of waking her up with your penis?
Because
she's showing these clips like it paints them in a bad light, but it just doesn't.
I think it's hilarious and it feels great.
Don't feel sorry for me. I'm doing this fine.
They know what they're doing. This is why I love this couple, because they're just brilliant. The level of intellectual humor is just top tier.
Just assume it's one.
We have 4 daughters. He's a great dad. Super nice dad. Really, really caring.
Somebody hits you, you have to hit them back harder. That's the way it generally seems to work, unfortunately. Now, if you had behaved yourself, been a good girl, I wouldn't have had.
So you just... assume consent.
From my wife? Yes. I completely stand behind this. This is not trolling.
The social order is not meant to be that we must cater to women's feelings and that women have to be okay with how things are said and they have to approve and we have to convince them and we have to pull them over to our side.
Based. Right, let's hear what Tilly has to say for herself.
Hi, Andrew. What you're about to witness is not a moral case refuting your disturbed understanding of so-called Christian ethics. It is a legalistic one and nothing more. This is important for you to understand. For around a year, you've made repeated attempts to drag me into a gender-based harassment project called the Whatever Podcast. Initially by reaching out directly, followed by a video designed to provoke a response, and now, finally, with an intimidation attempt where you branded me that terrifying bogeyman your henchmen get so riled up about. A false accuser.
But you have called someone who hasn't committed the crime of rape a rapist. That is a false accusation.
All of this is, of course, because I pride myself on refusing to get my hands dirty by declining in no uncertain terms upwards of 7 hours of male aggression captured on video on the other side of the world. Let me make myself clear. This is because I am above that. Not because I cast judgment on women who attend.
Hypocrisy of what she's saying doesn't even make logical sense. I am above that. Not because I pass judgment. Oh my gosh, you can't make it up.
But because all women are above that. And I will encourage...
Unless you go.
encourage every woman in my audience to think the same of herself. If that makes me a diva, Brian, I'm very happy to co-opt the label. What I'm about to do here is something much narrower and much more necessary than an ethical debate with you on something so archaic that most people aren't interested in taking a second look.
Oh my gosh, I just think most people are dumb.
I'm simply instead going to explain the law. Because when people make public statements about sexual conduct within marriage, about whether consent exists between spouses at all, or whether certain acts qualify as under modern legal definitions, I won't avoid commentary on that, even in the face of a hate campaign that brands me a liar who stages abuse allegations against men to ruin their lives. That framing is defamatory, not mine.
Is this... Oh my... Be nice, Christine. Is this lady... Oh my gosh, the manipulation is just insane. It's quite frightening.
This video is an exercise in laying out the law for a man and a community who need to hear it. To those...
Yeah, but we know what the laws are. You know, he wasn't saying this is the law. He was saying his personal opinion of what constitutes consent. We can sit here all day and talk about what the law actually is. And again, this is the cultural difference. This is the British mindset of the law is what it is and we just blindly follow. Whereas like Americans have more of a say in their law. You know, they have more rights over freedom of speech and stuff, which I can't even get into because, hey, I'm in the UK. We don't have the same freedom of speech as you guys have. We kind of do more than probably like other countries, but it is not what you guys have in the US. You guys can really just say whatever, like you might get sued for it, but you're not going to go to prison for it. I have to be careful with what I say, just sat in this room talking to a camera, because it gets posted to YouTube. And even if I claim it's my personal opinions, like I could go to prison for that. Like I could actually go to jail for that. This has happened to thousands of people in my country. Like, so this is what she's doing. She's exploiting that because in the UK, you probably can't voice your personal opinions. I think I would say that. You struggle to be able to voice certain opinions about things if the law says one thing. Now, whether the ethics or the morals of that law are correct, she's even said she won't go into that, right? Because she knows that there is a case for many false allegations being able to be made with the current legal system that we have in the UK. The current statutory representation of what constitutes rape in the UK is very poor, and it does allow for floodgates of allegations because anything can constitute that under UK law. Just to give you guys a background. So yeah, you know, you can't really say that the law is wrong in the UK. You can't really say that you disagree with it too much. So that's all she's doing. She's playing the game of, haha, we have a different legal system, and you can't say that. It's funny though, because if I was her, understanding the UK legal system, not as much as a lawyer, I'm not a lawyer, but I did get my bachelor's in law. She'd probably have more of a case in this country reporting him for hate speech. But that's obviously a crime, and he's not in the UK, so I don't know how that part would work. But a case for defamation, I don't know. We'll see what else she's got.
Men, please feel free to campaign for a reversal of those laws. I'll meet you on the opposite side of the rally face to face, because my rights are not granted to me. They are taken by me. They ontologically belong to me. And I will speak to girls directly before I address you, Andrew, for the simple reason that they are more important than you will ever be.
Feminism's about equality. There you have it. There you have it. She is a gynocentrist. She is not an equalist. She is not humanitarian. She believes women are superior. She thinks women are superior. She thinks our men are secondary citizens. If that doesn't show you, I know I'm just holding this little elastic band because it fell out my hair. If that doesn't show you the kind of spite that women like this have, I feel so sorry for her father.
To my sisters, my friends, my followers, and to women everywhere, this man and his community are dangerous outliers.
Oh my word.
Any reasonable man, any man who is worth your time is nothing like him. Do not entertain them.
Crazy. So any man who's nothing like him is not worth your time. So basically find a feminist soy boy, someone like Destiny, and that's the man for you. Do we think that she'd sleep with someone like Destiny? Just putting it out there. You know, these women, they claim they want these feminist soy boy types, but when it comes down to it, that's not the ones that they're spreading their legs for. I just think modern women are really confused. Scary to think so many young men follow such men online as models. What are they supposed to follow? What else? What? A streamer who sits in his room all day and just plays video games and, you know, bows down to women. Like, I'm not being funny, but someone like Andrew Wilson, like, yeah, you could argue he does the same thing, but like he also had, not playing video games, but streaming. He also had real jobs. He also has a wife. He also has like 5 kids. Like, as far as I'm concerned, that's a pretty masculine man, right? who offers something of value to society. And as a family, they do. As I say, he's contributed to society himself. I think he worked in like robotics and stuff, quite niche things, niche expertise. And obviously his wife has had a bunch of kids. Like, that is contribution to society, not someone who's in like a polyamorous relationship who isn't having children and isn't really doing or advocating for people to do the difficult jobs. I'm not talking about anyone specifically. I know Destiny does fit that bill. I'm talking about this general kind of idea of the leftist kind of streamer and the opinions they have. They're often not for having children, and they really often don't have much sympathy for the average working man. And that tells you all you need to know. They're not feminists, because the whole sort of definition of feminism is someone who believes in equality. They are supremacists. They are female supremacists. That's what they believe. And I believe anyone who believes in any form of supremacy is a little bit dangerous. You know, if you think that anyone is superior to anyone else, like, I don't think that's a very ethical view to have of the world. Do I think that there are orders of hierarchies that we should respect? Yes. But to constitute supremacy means that just by virtue of being, you are automatically better than someone else. It's like the whole concept of, you know, a man getting a submissive, peaceful, homemaking wife. It's like, not every man can get that. There is a hierarchy, I believe, at least. I do believe in the Christian hierarchy of God, man, wife, children, all equal in value. No one is supreme in that except for God, right? But this idea that if you have that view, then that means all men deserve to be submitted to and all women must just submit and obey blindly. It's just ludicrous and reductionist. And it just shows me that you don't really have the capacity for thought, for understanding that, do you know what? There are actually a lot of people around the world who believe this. So maybe they're not all, you know, wrong. Maybe they just have different views to me, and that's okay. These people, they don't do that. They don't have that level of understanding. They go straight to, you know, these people are dangerous and they need to be outcast from society. And it's just, I think it's just utterly ridiculous, but that's just what I think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the comment section below? This is a crazy topic. I'm excited to see it unfold. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up on your way out. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and keep up to date with all of my content by hitting that notification bell. And if you'd like to kill your bad breath today and get 25% off your bad breath crystals that explode in your mouth and make a really satisfying sound, click the link in the description and you will get 25% off on me. And on that note, I'll see you very soon in the next one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.